Hello, hello.
Hi V, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's great to see you.
Likewise, likewise. Anita, it feels like it's been so long.
Right? It does feel like it's been so long. Although we are next to each other, as we usually say, it does feel like it's been a while since we have recorded a podcast. So we're excited to be back, guys. Welcome, welcome to Approaching Your Future with your hosts Dana and Victor. Um, can you hear me well?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Talk close to
Oops,
the mic.
now it's not.
So I'll make sure to talk close to the
Oh,
microphone so
yeah.
I can hear myself. But yeah,
Nice. We can
all
do
right. Welcome,
ASMR.
welcome. Some
We can,
ASMR.
yes, we can present a podcast like this today.
We should have one podcast in which we present everything
That'd be amazing.
in ASMR. All right, everyone. Welcome, welcome to Approaching Your Future with your hosts Dana Khan and Victor Ribeiro, where we take steps forward towards your goals. And today we'll be discussing celebrating 4th of July because that is the big weekend that is coming up, and it is a huge weekend. It's probably the biggest holiday in the United States. So let's talk a bit about it, V. What can you tell me about 4th of July? What is 4th of July for those that don't know what 4th of July is?
I think the best way to describe 4th of July culturally is it's the day of the independence of the United States, you know? Um, as a lot of you know, I'm a history junkie. And for the United States to become independent from England, from the crown, and from all those countries that had an eye on the land of opportunity, there were a lot of stories of resilience, and there were a lot of stories that made this country so patriotic. So one of the things I like to say is that Fourth of July is also a good day to celebrate patriotism as well as the independence of the United States. And we are in one of the best cities for such a thing, which is Boston. There's the Freedom Trail. If a lot of people probably knows about it. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot that I can talk about in terms of Fourth of July. But baby steps, right? Before I get the horse ahead of the ahead of the cart, like at the car wash.
That's Victor with his he likes to translate Brazilian sayings into English, which is so sweet of him. And so that was a great saying. And what he means by that is that we are gonna start slow and then we'll ease into it, you know? But basically, guys, as Victor said, 4th of July is the independence of the US. That is what we celebrate during 4th of July. And usually the weekend, it's the weekend that is 4th of July on, it tends to be like a huge weekend. It's the 4th of July weekend. There's parties all along. You see a lot of like showcases of nationalism, like wearing like a red, blue, and white, and wearing like flags and lots of fireworks, lots and lots and lots of fireworks. So I think 4th of July is a really cool holiday, especially if you're in the US while it's happening, because it is something you need to experience if you live here. It is part of the cultural experience of the US, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, one of the things that I wanted to say too is like one of my first experiences here in the United States was actually being in a baseball game in the 4th of July, and you can kind of see like how everybody here in the United States they take that very seriously. It's an actual celebration, almost like New Year's. I'm actually adding here. We're getting more in the theme of 4th of July, so I'm adding a few details here to our podcast so it'll look even more fun. But I'm a graphic designer, so I like to do things on the go.
Of course, I love that beat. But yeah, so 4th of July, this time around, it's going to be for the first time in like the past 3 years since COVID happened. We are going to have a big celebration again. The Esplanade is going to open up for the Pops concert, which is a very well known concert that happens in Boston. It's a free concert and it happens all night, all day long of 4th of July, if I'm not mistaken. But I do want to go over some of the celebrations and events you guys can join so you guys can take a look on what's happening in Boston. So I'm going to be sharing my screen in 1 second. Here we go. Let's go to this one first that talks about what to do in New England. So Is everyone seeing this?
Yes.
Awesome. So this is how it's gonna work. I'm gonna go a bit over the days. So as I told you, usually 4th of July is celebrated all across the weekend. And as you see, effectively, um, Monday is July 4th, and that is a day that is gonna happen the Esplanade, the Boston Pops concert, which is a super cool concert. I'm gonna go over it in a bit, but let's go upwards. So first and foremost, July 1st. If you guys want to catch some firework displays, it's gonna start all the way on Friday, this Friday. And here are some places if you're near Haverhill, Waltham, Attleboro, Hartford, and I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing some of these names. As you know, Massachusetts has the weirdest city names. There's one city called Sandwich. But yeah, there really is a city called Sandwich. I was looking, someday we'll do like a cool live stream on the really weird Massachusetts city names because I don't know, they just got bored halfway through and decided to call everything something ham. So, anyways, Hartford, Ipswich, Everett. You guys can check out these fireworks over here. They're going to be happening all throughout the night. So, make sure to get there if you're able to. If you live near these places and you want to do something on Friday night, you want to see some fireworks, this is a good place to go. On Saturday, Boston in the Long Wharf, which is near the seaport, you can check out some fireworks there, but there's also some in Chatham, in Lowell, in Salem, in Wellington. And on Sunday, you can find other places like Rhode Island is going to have a few places of fireworks. East Providence, North Providence. We also see here some places in Connecticut like Hartford and Burlington, in Vermont. And of course, in Massachusetts, we can never forget Gloucester and Foxborough. If you guys want to go to the Gillette Stadium, for example, to see some fireworks, I think that's a super fun activity to do on a Sunday night with your kids. And on Monday, which is July 4th, we're finally going to have a variety of different experiences. We see here some fireworks going on in Nashua, New Hampshire, in Portland, Maine, Provincetown, Massachusetts. If you guys don't know, Provincetown is the most amazing place in Massachusetts. It really is my favorite place ever. We have done a full podcast on it about during the Pride podcast, which was 2 podcasts ago. So check it out. But if you are near Provincetown or near Cape Cod, for example, the area of Cape Cod, definitely go there. It's a beautiful place to watch the fireworks from. Worcester, Newport, Rhode Island. We see that the Newport Harbor, there's going to be fireworks at 9:15. Falmouth, Newtown, Massachusetts, which is like 20 minutes away from Boston, and Manchester, New Hampshire. So here we can see some of the different fireworks going on July 4th. But let's go over what the Boston Pops Fireworks Spectacular is, because it is the biggest. And can you see my screen now? Okay, so this is the biggest like concert / celebration in Boston and Massachusetts for 4th of July. And it hasn't happened in the past 2 years due to COVID, but it is coming back finally. And what is it? So Boston Pops, it's an annual 4th of July spectacular. They put this huge stage, as you see in the picture. They put it on the Esplanade, and the Esplanade is like it's the Charles River. It's right here next to everyone. It goes all across Boston. All, on the other side is Cambridge. And so if you want to see really good fireworks, but not only that, be able to see a free concert, this is the place to go, guys. Who is going to be here this year? None other than Chaka Khan. And for those that don't know Chaka Khan is the singer of I'm Every Woman, you know?
She's not related to Donna Khan, if you guys are wondering.
Yes. Unfortunately, we are not family, but I love her. She's incredible. Probably one of the most iconic singers of the past century. So genuinely, like, go see her. It's gonna be a fully free concert. Apart from that, we're gonna have incredible performances from other, if I'm not mistaken, from a singer songwriter not named Victor Colon, and we also have another performance from another very famous Tony Award winner called Heather Headley. Actually, Heather Headley, if I'm not mistaken, was part of the Aretha Franklin movie that came out recently. I'm not sure if she played the lead, but she might have played Aretha Franklin. And she has won a variety of Tony Awards. She's a multi-award winner artist. And this is all going to be for free, guys. So I genuinely mean it. There's also going to be the Tanglewood I'm going to tell you the name exactly because I don't want to get it wrong. The Tanglewood Festival Chorus, they're going to be singing. And we also have the Middlesex County Volunteer Fifes and Drums, which is like a drum band. So it's going to be super cool. They're going to be performing all throughout. And so I'm going to share with you guys another page because I want to show you how this one looks. Let me show you. Sorry.
Anita, do you know how to pledge allegiance to the flag?
No, but would you like to tell me, please?
Okay, so I did high school here in the United States, right? So in my sophomore, junior, and senior year, I think one of the most remarkable things is that every morning when I was, because I did public and Catholic school both, right? And in public school, which you don't really expect, every morning we had to pledge allegiance to the flag, and it was a whole call to the whole school. It was always like at a specific time in the morning they would, speak on the speakers of like every classroom and in the whole school, and everybody would stand up, put their hands on their chest, and say, "I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, into a republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all." And that was every day. Like I could not, like, even if I did not want to, I would not be able to forget that. And then in private school, I went to a Catholic school here in Massachusetts, which was Catholic, private, and at the same time a prep type of school. Every morning they had a morning updates, the pledge allegiance to the flag plus a prayer. So
Wow.
yeah, it was like very interesting because the consistency, I guess, is the most impressive thing, you know?
And would you hear the national anthem as well in the mornings?
Well, it was never the anthem. It was always allegiance to the flag, right? So it was always like pledging to the flag. And it was always everybody together, everybody standing up, sitting like kind of standing still with their hands in their chest, the other hand in the back, and looking at the flag. And here another thing too that I wanted just to bring out before you show your page is that um, they take really good care of the flags. Their flags are usually it's very interesting because there is a specific way to raise the flag, to fold the flag. And I remember in high school there were kids that were kind of like that was their task on getting involved.
Wow.
Yeah, they would help specific teachers that had experience with flags. So I think that really goes and re-emphasizes this whole patriotism thing here. That is amazing. It's incredible. It's inspiring for a lot of countries, I believe, right? But yeah, just wanted to put it out there. Thank you for watching my TED talk.
No, I think that's super cool. V. Like, I experienced something similar, but in another country. So it's like super interesting to see how it translates to the U.S. and especially because the country experience it is completely different, and so like how it translates and the feeling it gives off to the people and to the students, for example, doing it every morning, it's a completely different feeling. It's a feeling of proudness, and I think that's super cool. I think that also it's very interesting when you speak about how they handle their flags, um, like it reminds me of, I don't know why, but it reminds me of religion. It reminds me of how we, at least in Judaism, how we're meant to handle the Torah and the all the books. And it's like super interesting, because it's like it genuinely is like a sort of, and not a religion, of course, but it is like there's so much pride around it, and there's so many like traditions that are important to upkeeping, the flag, for example, and that patriotism. I think it's very cool. It's very interesting. I think there's always double-edged swords in everything, when we cannot like mistake that, because of course, like, we are living right now through a very interesting moment in the US. For everyone that's watching us and is living in the US, they probably are aware of everything that's happening. um, but at the same time, I think that there is a connection to the people rather than to whatever is above, if, whether it's the government or whatever it is.
Yeah.
There's a strong connection of community and of the people in the U.S.
Yeah.
And I think that's very cool to see. You know, what do you
No,
think,
yeah.
V?
No, I totally agree. It's always about the people. And this cultural, I consider that a culture, a part of the culture of the United States, right? Like to be a patriot. And that's something that's always been a part of the history here, because this is pretty much how a country of this size can kind of look inwards and find strength in people that are willing to give their lives for their country, right? And that is also celebrated. But if you really think, like, a lot of these I don't think this is propaganda, right? But it is a form of patriotism that is nationally broadcasted through games, through the TV, through schools, through any sort of like celebration here. And if you think very critically, you also see that like a lot of the people that are receiving this type of let's say this part of the culture, they really feel like it really feels like a relation to a lot of them. you know it becomes a part of their soul, and it becomes a part of them, right? And that's truly incredible, and that's why we see the United States the way it is. I mean, there is always a place for everyone, because even if you are living in a city that is far from major metropolises, like bigger cities, like if you're living kind of isolated, you still have that to look at and feel proud of, and feel proud of where you live. And at the same time, if your country is having a problem like the United States have had, like different forms of conflicts, for example, that will be people coming from those places and from many other places to join forces and fight for one belief, right? Which is freedom always. So I mean, I find that extremely interesting. I find that extremely interesting, because it's something that's been going on for years and ages, and it's so enrooted in the culture. But yeah, anyways.
I love that, V. I think it's super interesting and it's a great perspective, and I think that we could talk about it for hours, like the way in which the US, I mean, and we're not going to go into this in this podcast, guys, but like it's super interesting for us, like that are international students, to see the power that the perspective of the US has over the world, like we genuinely do, like when we are growing up, where we are, I don't know, for example, in Brazil there's restaurants that recreate the American culture, or the 60s, or the diners of the 60s, and like and that it happens all over the world, and it's so interesting to see,
Yeah. And one thing too, I mean, like, we're both advertisers, right? Like we've worked with marketing, messaging, communication. We see that a lot of times these things that are brought up to us resembling the American culture are really things that are connected to advertising, and how the United States has always been a machine in terms of creation of content and inspiring messages and advertising its own culture, to create this sense of I like to say a sense of community, but it's much bigger than that, right?
I think it's
Yeah,
like a sense of dominance, I
yeah,
think it's super interesting, and we could talk about it for hours, but we're gonna go back to talking a bit about 4th of July, guys. As where you see on the screen right now, this is an article on everything that you need to know about the 4th of July Boston Pops concert. Okay, so for example, who is performing and when? As I already told you guys, Icon Chaka Khan, which I am so excited about. Heather Hadley, Javier Colon, and I think I might have said Victor Colon, and I apologize. It was Javier Colon is his name. Middlesex County Volunteer Fifes and Drums, and we have the Tanglewood Festival Chorus. So apart from that, the show starts at 8 p.m. on the dot. Okay, so make sure to be there. It is completely free. The Esplanade, you can travel by foot. You can go on the T. It is here. You can see the MBTA stops near the Esplanade. So Arlington is pretty close. Copley is right next to it. Heinz Convention Center,
yeah.
super quick.
MGH too, like it's always a good stop, because you get dropped off right on the Esplanade.
Perfect, exactly. So if you can get on the red line, definitely go that way. There's also Back Bay in the orange line, or as you see here, these are all the green lines that could get you close to the Esplanade. And apart from that, um, it's gonna be you can take your bike. For example, here it says bikes won't be allowed through the checkpoints, but
Yeah.
as you know, the Esplanade is a huge park, so you can, for example, do like a little you can do a little like I'm sorry, I lost my thought. You can do a little like picnic on for example the Esplanade during the day on July 4th, and then get to see the concert. Leave your bikes and get to see the concert. Walk to
Yeah.
the concert at night. So there's so many things you can do to get there. There's also parking. If you go early, you have to go early. Okay, guys, this is Boston. Parking is not easy here. So if you do want to take a car, you can, and you can find parking. But it is much more recommendable that you walk definitely to the Esplanade.
Yeah. Also, keep in mind, Boston is very peculiar with security. So, know very well what you're bringing to the Esplanade. If you can bring a transparent bag, if you have one, of course, it's always recommended. If you do bring a bag, make sure that you're putting things that you're very aware of, and just expect your bag to be checked. If you want to see and be a part of the show and enjoy with other people, like Donna said, get there early. But if you're there just for the fireworks, there are also a lot of cool places in the city that you can pretty much just watch the fireworks. You can go to the other side of the Esplanade in Cambridge, and you'll be able to see the fireworks, and it's gonna look beautiful. So there are a lot of things that you can do, but always keep in mind that it's gonna be the 4th of July, and Boston will be crazy in traffic, no place to park pretty much. And even if you bring your bikes, knowing that there will be no place to park your bike there, I mean, you gotta have to know where you're gonna leave it in a place where it's safe, right? So just kind of putting it out there.
Exactly, exactly. And so just as Victor said, like make sure that you can read this list of allowed items and prohibited items. So as here, prohibited items, make sure to take this into account when packing for the Esplanade. No coolers on wheels. Okay, so those coolers that you take on wheels like to the beach, you cannot bring them this time around. No backpacks. So no big backpacks is what this means. You can take your little bags, but do not take a big backpack. No firearms, weapons, sharp objects, or fireworks. As you know, this is as per usual. We want to keep everyone safe. No glass containers, guys. No cans, no pre-mixed beverages. All liquids must be carried in sealed, clear plastic containers and can't exceed 2 liters. So make sure that you do that, that you buy them, that they're pre-sealed. No grilling, propane tanks, or open flames. So don't plan on doing your 4th of July barbecue at the Esplanade. Try to do it before, come afterwards. And then no alcoholic beverages that you can bring with you. So I am sure there's going to be a bunch of places selling beer and things of that sort. 4th of July is a type of event in which holiday in which we see everyone drinking a lot of beer, doing barbecues. There's lots of barbecues, cookouts all around. So get your food on, get your grill on, but get it at home, and then come to the Esplanade and watch the amazing fireworks because they look like they're gonna be super fun. And I personally would not want to miss Chaka Khan by any means. So I am hoping that you don't want to either.
Yeah, you get there and you see Dana Khan and Chaka Khan enjoying the 4th of July all together. That's the American dream.
I wish we could share like a bit of a song as we leave or something. I don't know. Maybe we can. True. We might
Copyright
not do that because they
infringements.
might copyright us. Yeah. But that is a bit of what's happening 4th of July this weekend for Boston, guys. It's a weekend to be with family, really. It's a weekend to be with friends, to be with family, to see the fireworks, to enjoy the food and the drinks and the culture, and put your feet up on the couch and watch some good blockbusters from the 80s. I personally recommend Jurassic Park. I have said this before. I'm a big fan of Jurassic Park. I'm sure Victor would recommend something else like Mission Impossible or something like that. But you can do that. Go watch Tom Cruise. He is on the big screens right now with Top Gun. So make sure to watch Top Gun. Super American movie. But yeah, what do you think, V?
Yeah, enjoy a good barbecue and fireworks. I mean, it's like you said, it's a day to really celebrate. So get on the vibe, and like and be on the same energy. it can only benefit you, you know.
Exactly, guys. It only adds. So definitely immerse yourself in this 4th of July weekend. Feel and live the American culture, and then come back and let us know how was your experience. What do you think? Is it different to what happens in your life? Is it not? Right. He's making fun of me. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining. This was a quick podcast, but it was fun. We just wanted to go over a bit of the events of 4th of July and what you guys can expect and how you guys should immerse yourselves. Make sure to buy blue, red, and white outfit, like an outfit in general.
Immersion.
Immersion. And I would also say, like, you can also, there's a really cool thrift store that sells a lot of 4th of July clothes called Swank Seconds. It's in Somerville.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about this one too.
Yeah, and they sell amazing, like, amazing clothes for 4th of July or things that are for the summer. Like, I've seen them in the past. I've been there and they had a whole 4th of July section. So if you are a fan of thrifting clothes and you live near Somerville, I think that would be a great idea for you.
Definitely, definitely. And, Davis Square is a wonderful place for that. And if you're also just, going around the 4th of July, there'll be a lot of other fun things to do. So just make sure you go out there, enjoy the day. Hopefully it's going to be sunny and beautiful.
Exactly. So, thank you so much, guys. That's it for today. Thank you for tuning into Approaching Your Future with your hosts, Dana and Victor, where we discuss different cultural aspects of life in the United States, today being 4th of July. And we'll be back next Tuesday at 2 p.m. So, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn your notifications on. And please make sure to follow us on Instagram at approach_USA to keep up with all the latest updates, our live streams, our activities, and everything we do. It's on Instagram. So, make sure to follow it. And if you like more of these podcasts, or you have any topics you have in mind, or you want to be a guest, whatever it is, comment it on below on the video. We'll be happy to reach out to you. All right.
Yep. Let us know. And you know where we are. Any questions, concerns, feedback, anything, send us a message on Instagram. We're always there, and we're always happy to connect with our students and with everybody that likes to make this podcast even more special. And we always look forward to it, and we're looking forward to seeing all you guys next week already. So stay tuned.
Bye bye. Have a good day.
Adios.